Ditch the fairy tale, princess. It's time to step outside the status quo and blaze your own trail. The path littered with setbacks, successes, and newfound passions. Why? Because when you break away from the script, you start to pursue a life by choice. One that is all yours. Live unscripted and rewrite your life.
I just want to take a collective moment with you right here, right now, to tap into who the fuck you really are. I know I use cuss words as a way to drive home my message and to help you understand the conviction behind why I'm so passionate about what I'm doing. And it's because we should all be so lucky to have conviction and compassion around how we show up each and every day. And that doesn't have to mean you have it all figured out, whether that's life or business or relationships or parenting or you name it. Insert whatever place your mind went to when you thought for just 1 second, oh, that must be nice. Because I fucking do it too. When people talk about the fact that they've quote unquote figured it out, or that if you just XYZ, then I'm throwing up some air quotes. I value when people share in real time what they're going through, which is why podcasting has become such a popular platform for so many people to find themselves in other people's stories, to be able to feel seen and heard and connected with at a level that they may not be experiencing in their own life day to day. And it's a place for us to tune into when we need something. And this is your permission and your place to come here and get whatever it is that you need. And I hope that I title these episodes well enough so that you can actually find what it is you need and that you can learn to trust that this is a safe space to be vulnerable and to learn that you're not alone in whatever struggles you're going through in life, but to also be firmly reminded that you get to create this life. You get to show up here. You get to experience things in the way that you choose to experience them. Now, don't get it twisted, man. Some shit's happened to people and sometimes you think, fuck, could it get any worse? And to be totally transparent and vulnerable and honest in this very moment when I'm recording this episode, some shit's hit the fan this week. Nothing that I care to share or talk about because I'm not going to give it any fucking energy. I gave it about 24 hours worth of energy. It's got nothing to do with Kai, nothing to do with Scott, nothing to do with me necessarily personally, but has everything to do with me. And it involves me in a sense, if you will. Find what I'm trying to not say in this story. And I had two choices this morning when I woke up. I could embrace this. What the fuck is going on? I can't believe this is some bullshit I got to deal with. This, that, whatever, negative Nancy, all the things. I could have angrily journaled and said, what the fuck? I could have put pen to paper and maybe made myself feel better by getting it out through journaling. I thought about doing some breath work on myself to process and release the stuck emotion. And then I have a small little library here at my house. I walked over to my bookcase and I was like, what is calling me right now? And from time to time, I pick up Joe Dispenza's work. And I picked up where I left off the other day. And if you've never read anything by Joe Dispenza, you definitely got to be in the right mindset to read his work because it is comprehensive, it is detailed, it is thought-provoking, it is deeply calling you out on your shit and reminding you that you are the creator of your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own physical well-being, all of the things. But it is exactly what I needed to read this morning. And he reminds us in his writing that we can manifest the life we want to have. We can vision cast so hard that our bodies believe it is actually true and has already happened. And so that's what I did. I read enough to get me out of that state of woe is me and victim mode and angriness And I put on my running shoes, and just so habit, San Diego hasn't seen sun in weeks. The sun peeked out this morning. I threw on some sunglasses, no music, no phone, and I started to go for a run. And I started envisioning this amazing, wonderful, abundant, joyous filled life. And I was running like a crazy person with a smile on my face. I don't run very fast, so it was like a slow jog, slow, painful looking jog, I'm sure. But I just ran through my neighborhood thinking of my beautiful life and realizing how amazing the neighborhood I live in now is, and how this is once something that I dreamt of, yet here I am living it. But I was willing to let some bullshit take me out of the joy that is around me every single day and to ruin my morning. And I said, no, I am not allowing this shit to happen and control my day. I am in control of how I feel. I am in control of how I let this gnarly situation affect me. It's up to me. And I refuse to let it ruin my day again. And I had the most beautiful run. I had so many amazing, beautiful visions of my life, what I want in my life, what I want to call into my life, how I want this next phase of my business to look, the type of people I'm calling into my business, people, women that I want to work with, high achieving, highly ambitious, soulful thought leaders who want to connect their voice to their brand through podcasting, who are willing to show up even when it's sticky and hard and uncomfortable, who are willing to roll through life with me hand in hand, even though maybe they don't feel like they got it all fucking figured out. Like, those are my people. Those are what I'm calling in. That is what I thought of on my run this morning. And as you listen to this podcast, maybe you're out on your run. Maybe you're out for a walk. Maybe you're driving in the car stuck in traffic. And maybe, just maybe, you were having one of those mornings where you were letting some bullshit fuck with you. I want you to take a big, deep inhale and a deeply cleansing, get the fuck out of here exhale, and let that shit go. Do not allow outside circumstances to control your mind, your physical body, your thought process, your nervous system. I want you to roll your shoulders back and down. I want you to twist your head from side to side and release whatever tension you are carrying, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, whether you did have a bad day yesterday or the day before, whether you are carrying shit or not. We are all carrying unnecessary energy that is not ours to carry. Whether it was from this morning's breakfast fiasco with your kids, whether it was something that your boss said to you yesterday, whether it was a client who was slightly just off kilter, maybe your husband said some shit, maybe your wife said something. Let's take one more big deep inhale and a deep cleansing exhale. Just let all of that shit go. Sometimes when I am channeling how I'm feeling and I'm letting the universe speak through me into this podcast, I realize that this was never about me. This podcast has never been about me. That's why I've been so unclear on what I'm supposed to do when I show up here sometimes, because I'm literally just supposed to be a vessel and a container to hold space for you as you move through things in life. I didn't understand what was coming through for me in breathwork. I wasn't understanding in meditation. I wasn't understanding even when I learned my human design a year or so ago. As a projector, I'm meant to just be the guide. I'm meant to be the person that allows for you to be seen and to understand that this is your journey to walk. And the sooner that we remove ridiculous expectation levels around how things should be and just embrace them for the flow and beauty and grace and, I don't know, sometimes fuckery that they might be, that you can laugh and play when life throws shit at you, that you could smile and sit back and know that shit ain't fucking with me. I'm good. I'm doing the work. I'm focused on myself. I'm clear with what my goals, my priorities, my mission in life is. I stay unfazed. Fuck the noise. Let that shit go. Hit that reset button with a deep, big cleansing inhale and a fuck that shit exhale, and come back to who the fuck you know you are. Connect to source, to God, to the universe, to yourself as often as you need to. You can always be there for yourself. I'm here for you too. And so is this community. We are all about rewriting our life, flipping that script, changing the script, rewriting a story that you've been programmed to believe is true for you in your life. This is the place where we get to make changes. And that includes you showing up as the fullest, most expressed version of yourself. So what I want you to take from today's podcast is that you are enough. Exactly how you are in this very moment. You don't need one more class or one more course or one more anything to be validated, to share the experiences that you have, to know the shit you know, to maybe help somebody else get through the shit that they're going through. And it's why I'm so passionate about even the average person who maybe isn't an entrepreneur having a podcast. Giving yourself a platform like this to share and express and connect and be vulnerable and go deep instead of staying on the surface level like so many people want to do. This is the place where magic happens. This is the place that shit you just take for granted that you know, those experiences that you think that everybody just has to deal with, that who could you help? Who would want to listen to your show? They do. They need to hear your message from you in your way when you're ready to share it. So I had no real focus for this podcast episode other than to connect with you. And I'm just always sending you so much love. Please stay connected. You can always text me 619-332-3045, the word podcast, and we can stay connected around you opening up the possibilities of starting your damn podcast. There is a podcast course available for you to grab right now. If you have an idea to start and you are looking for a way to launch, but you need that structure and clarity and some framework to get it out of your head and launched in as little as 2 to 3 weeks. If you've been under a rock, we recently launched Media Unscripted, which is my full podcast production agency with my partner, Mariana. She is my go-to. We have built a lot over the last couple of years, and I would not be as excited to do this podcast agency without her. We are the dynamic duo to take you from starting your podcast to growing, scaling, and monetizing your podcast, to creating an amazing hobby out of your podcast if that's all you want to utilize it for, to helping you get in front of more people, to get you on other podcasts, all the things. We have so much in store for you. We can't wait to really get this out into the world. We've already signed 5 new clients. We've got room for about 5 more at our current capacity. And I'm also feeling called to open a few spots around strategy and getting unstuck and out of your own way. This is not a coaching program. This is not a course. This is space for you to connect with me to help you gain some clarity around your next couple of steps and to show up with you and for you in whatever season you're currently in. So always sending you love, always looking out for you. This is always and will always be a come with me podcast, never a I got this figured out, because girl, I am right there with you, navigating life just like you are. I appreciate the love of this podcast and you sharing these episodes with your friends and the downloads and the subscribes and the ratings and reviews. It literally is soul filling. And I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for listening to this podcast. However, I can repay you. Hop in my DMs. Let me know if you need some support around something you're launching or promoting or talking about or sharing. Let me help you. It is literally my favorite thing to be a hype girl, and nothing gives me more joy. So stay connected to the community, stay connected to yourself, get quiet, to gain some clarity, to realize that you already have the confidence to take the action steps and to make the changes in your life that you want. Sending you love. See you on the next one.
Creating this podcast is as much fun as it sounds, and it's not hard. You're worthy of sharing your expertise with the world. So I've broken it down so you can start your own damn podcast in 4 weeks or less. Head to the link in the show notes to start now.